let's begin. I want to introduce myself first. My name is Bryce Okamoto. I am the Park Permits Officer with Parks and Recreation. I manage the permit office, but not only that, I also oversee the park ranger programs. And with that, I'll give Kavika the floor to introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Kobika Akiyama. I'm the Park Ranger Supervisor for the Department of Parks and Recreation. I'll be managing our education rollout. Thank you, everybody, for attending today.
Okay, thank you, Kavika. All right, so I'm going to share the screen here for our PowerPoint presentation. So, okay. So, on the Park Ranger program education phase rollout, just to let you know, it's purely to do education. It is not for enforcement yet. Again, I want to make that very clear. They will be going out and educating park users, well, more specifically commercial operators in the parks, what can and cannot be done, and go over rules and regulations and all that. Okay, so I'm just going to go right into it. So the Park Ranger program, the program objective is to educate park vendors and operators on park regulations and permit requirements, promote stewardship, mindfulness, and cooperation in park operations, ensure consistent ranger engagement and communication across all park sections, and improve compliance through education before any enforcement actions are taken. So again, I want to make this very clear because there are some who are not very clear on this. They're going to be doing education only in the early rollout of this phase. They will be going out, discussing the rules and regulations again, ensuring that people have permits and all that, but they will not be enforced. Now, with that said, I also want to make this clear. If HPE or Toll Care DLNR want to enforce, if they want to do citations or whatever else they're going to do, they have the ability to do so. The park rangers and myself are not going to stop that. But with that said, I want to make it clear again that park rangers are always doing education for this particular phase. So the rollout approach that we're going to take for the park rangers is education first. Again, for now, rangers are only focused on educating vendors, not issuing citations or taking enforcement action. We want to ensure that people understand the rules, especially when it comes to the jurisdictional issues that we are hearing and that some of you are facing. So we want to clear that up first, and that's something that we're going to do through education. They will approach every vendor. Every vendor is engaged proactively and respectfully, regardless of activity type. And then they will explain the ranger presence when they're out there. So rangers will clearly explain why they're there and what the education effort covers. So the key compliance topics, commercial operating locations. The park rangers will confirm commercial operators are operating in designated and permitted areas only. Permit status verification, they will or they may ask to review and confirm active documentation on site. So for those of you who do not have permits, if you do need permits, they will go over how to get them, and again, educate on park rules and regulations. And again, park regulations and conditions, educate vendors on specific park rules, conditions, and permits. So permit and operating basics, permit required, all commercial park activity needs an approved, non-transferable permit on file. Permit holders must be 18 or older and may have to show ID and permit when requested. And then no unauthorized advertising. So soliciting business or posting ads in parks requires prior written approval. So I know this is specifically, for recreational stops. So in terms of recreational rules, what counts as a recreational stop? Sightseeing, picture taking, beach combing, swimming, guided tours, or eating at a beach park. And what I mean by eating is if you bring food to the park and you're staying as part of a guided tour, that's going to be considered a recreational stop. Permit threshold, stops of 15 minutes or less don't need a permit for longer stops too. And that also includes a 90-minute limit. I will say, for those who are doing the stops of 50 minutes or less, I want to make it very clear, the reason why that rule was kept in was not to do a recreational stop. It was really to help facilitate bathroom breaks, especially when you're taking your customers around the island. So we understand that there are certain places or locations that do not have an opportunity where you cannot stop for a bathroom. That's the whole reason for the 15-minute rule. We have observed, or park rangers have observed, those who are using that as a guideline for stopping for recreational stops, but are also staying longer than 15 minutes. If that is the case, the park rangers will be educating the drivers on site. So I want to make that clear. They will be out there, they will be monitoring, and if they do see whether stops are taking much longer than the 15 minutes, and or it's considered a recreational stop, they will do the education. Licensed carriers only. Permits are available only to licensed motor carriers with required insurance on file. And then 90-minute limit, a recreational stop cannot exceed. So for recreational stop rules, operating conditions, weekdays only, permitted Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., excluding state and federal holidays. Limited vehicles, no more than 3 permitted vehicles at a beach park at once, parked in marked zones only. And then no catering or solicitation, so no cooking, buffets, catering, or advertising solicitation. So we had a few questions regarding what is allowed and where the recreational stops are allowed. So I created this slide. We actually have a few questions on that, so I wanted to make this very clear, along with giving all of you the ordinances on where these bans came from. So for Kailua and Kalama Beach Parks, it's banned from Lanikai to Kapoho Point or Castle Point, including rights of ways and easements. So that is Ordinance 12-2, 12-28, and 17-. Haleiwa banned from Sunset Point to Kayako Point, excluding Haleiwa Beach Park itself. That's Ordinance 21-34. For Waimanalo, banned from Makapu'u Point to Kapoho Point, again, Castle Point, including rights of way and easements, Ordinance 22-3. And then Kokololeo Beach Park, recreational stops are banned at this location. And it's only recreational stops for Kokololeo, but Ordinance 22-34. With regards to the bans, by the way, just to let you all know, no commercial rec stops should be happening. That was basically the gist of the discussions that were had at City Council, and all these bills were passed. Okay, so we will be posting this to the Park Ranger website later on. I'm not exactly sure when, but we will have the slides available as well. So if you need to go back and reference the commercial activity bans and the ordinances, and if you want to look them up, you're more than welcome to do so. But these are where the commercial activities have been banned for the time. So again, if you have any questions that pertain to recreational stops or any other commercial activity, or you have any suggestions or anything like that, please contact us. The email to use is parkrangers@honolulu.gov. Again, please email us. When we can receive the questions, we will take the top questions, and we will be responding to them. We will be sending it out as a group email to everyone so that everybody has the same answers. but we want to clarify as much as possible any type of confusion or any type of, I guess, questions that you had regarding the discriminations. But I want to make this clear again, and I'm going to keep making this clear because it is continuously coming up. Park rangers will only educate for the time. They will not be enforcing, okay? But I don't want your drivers to be afraid that they are approaching. We just want to ensure that the rules and regulations are being followed as is, considering that the city council did those bans. So we have to follow them. We're not trying to be the bad guy here, but I want to make that very clear. Okay. But with that said, Kavika, do you have anything to add?
I'd just like to add, we'll be posting some of this presentation to our parks website in a few days. So if you guys need to review anything that we talked about in here, it'll be available for your review. I just posted it to the chat. And thank you for everyone that attended. Thank you for taking your time out to listen to our educational outreach. Thank you.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, we will be issuing brochures. The park rangers will have brochures with the commercial rules on them pertaining to your particular activity. So when they do go out, it's not just going to be a verbal back and forth. They will have written material as well. So hopefully that will clear up some of the issues as well, or some of the confusion regarding things. But with that said, again, the park rangers email parkrangers@honolulu.gov. Please send your questions or submit your questions. We will try our best to answer as many as we can so that we as a department can make everything very clear. Okay, but thank you very much for attending, and we hope to hear from you.